Joining me here this evening, the time is now 5:06 p.m. Central, and we are watching the beginning of a severe weather outbreak across sections of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. We just got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for the southeastern DFW Metroplex for the city of Corsicana, so if you are included in this severe thunderstorm warning here, make sure that you are moving indoors immediately. This is for sections of I-45 in between Corsicana and Rice. This also includes the Blooming Grove area. Over the last hour or so, we've been watching this supercell develop and run into several other storms that have intensified this one very quickly here. So again, if you're in this area, try to be pretty cautious with this storm. This isn't any sort of crazy environment out here in eastern Texas. However, it is potent enough for us to see some large-scale and damaging winds with this supercell. Now, a tornado threat is not really in place with this, as this is an elevated thunderstorm, and this environment out here really isn't too great for a tornado threat anyways. But as we push off further to the northeast with these storms, we could potentially be talking about a brief tornado somewhere in the Ark-La-Tex region, because we are actually going to have a decent amount of instability and wind shear crossover in this area. A severe thunderstorm watch was just recently issued for sections of extreme southwest Arkansas, northeastern and east central Texas, and northwestern Louisiana, mentioning the threat for some baseball-sized hail, some tennis ball-sized hail, damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour being a possibility, and a tornado or two being a possibility. Now again, personally, I think that the tornado threat is very, very low. These are elevated storms, and this really isn't too great of an environment for a significant tornado threat anyways. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of brief spin up somewhere back into like northeastern Texas or southwest Arkansas, for example. If we take a look at the HRRR model on the significant tornado parameter, we can see that the values actually do get somewhat high as we enter the southwestern section of Arkansas later tonight. They get up to about 3 at a maximum, though. So again, don't expect any sort of crazy significant severe weather threat, but do keep in mind that a potential tornado or two cannot be ruled out tonight across sections of Arkansas and Texas. So while we have this severe weather event ongoing in sections of the Ark-La-Tex region, we've got another system out here in portions of California, not only bringing us some severe weather. We do have a line of storm sweeping onto shore right now near the San Jose area. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning associated with this, and we've actually had a few severe thunderstorm warnings with this line over the past couple of hours. But we've also got a big-time winter storm for sections of the mountainous regions of California. We actually have storm intermediate on the ground right now, just above my head. They're chasing down this winter storm. You can see they are really getting quite a bit of snow here. Again, it's kind of that nasty, wintry mix stuff that makes driving a nightmare. So if you are out here west of the Reno, Carson City, Nevada region, do be careful. But again, the main thing that we're going to be watching for here in California is going to be isolated damaging winds and some significant flooding along the west coast. So again, we've got ourselves a couple of events to watch today. A quick confession: usually whenever I do schedule streams, I go live, and then I realize that after 5 minutes I haven't actually gone live, and I'm just sitting there talking to myself. That is exactly what happened this time, unfortunately. So again, I would have gone live a few minutes earlier. I went live as soon as the severe warning got issued, but I was not prepared. So that's on me, chat. But you know, what can you do? It is great to see everybody back here once again today, though. I mean, we have quite literally got the entire squad in here tonight. We've got Kevin, Tornado Nerd, Joan Paul, Blaine, Arks, Mr. Twister, Mark, Blaine, even with the $1 donation. Sorry, I did not see that earlier. Blaine, spam the W's in the chat for Blaine. W. Blaine in the chat. Again, huge thank you for the $1 donation. Donations are not required, obviously, guys, but they do help me know that this is going to be a potential option for me in the future in terms of a career. So I really do appreciate that, Blaine. And again, if you would like to donate, make sure to do so by clicking the button right next to the chat. But anyway, let's go ahead and throw you up there on the dono board, Blaine. There's it. Yeah, that's how you spell it. All right. So again, huge thank you to Blaine for the $1 donation. Now, you might notice since last stream there are a bit of a I can't speak. There are a few changes to our layout here. We now have automatic warnings here. Thank you to James Pettis for our stream layout. He was nice enough to let me and Mr. Storm and Jesse, as well as Levi, use these alerts for our streams now. So again, in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you've got real-time alerts now. We don't have to exit the radar every time and type some stuff out, and it takes forever. And then whenever we get back into radar, the event's already over. That is not going to have to happen anymore. So that is a huge, huge W. Again, we've been doing this for so long, so it is really quite a joy to have these automated warnings. Again, I don't think that I've complained about anything more than the non-automated warnings when I'm streaming. So, again, this helps out a lot. It is very crazy. So, Anyways, obviously we've got our severe threat ongoing today across sections of the Ark-La-Tex area. However, things get way more significant, as many of you probably know, as we go into the weekend. On Friday, a Day 3 enhanced risk of severe weather is in effect all the way from sections of central Illinois back down through portions of central Mississippi here. All in all, we already have well over 60 million people facing well over 50 million people facing a threat for severe weather on Friday, and that will go up as we get closer and closer to the event. But that's not all, guys. The bigger day looks to be Saturday now, with a large enhanced risk of severe weather issued all the way from sections of southern Appalachia back down through portions of Louisiana like New Orleans. We've got ourselves a big-time tornado threat here on Saturday. Again, Friday looks to be quite significant as well. However, I would think that it would more so be a big-time wind threat. We're talking about the potential for a large MCS to small-scale derecho event to sweep across sections of the mid-Mississippi River Valley, so we are going to be watching out for that on Friday. And then again, Saturday looks to be our big-time concerning day for a tornado threat, but we're not going to hype up this storm. We're not going to say that there's going to be a high risk. We're not going to say that there's going to be an EF5. We're not even going to say that there's going to be a Tori, because we don't know that yet, guys. We've been seeing people comparing this event to April 27th, 2011, and even March 31st, 2023. Obviously, April 27th was way crazier, but we have nowhere near the same potency of a setup here for Saturday as we did for any of those recent super outbreaks. So please, if you see anybody talk about that on social media, guys, just don't listen. That is absolutely ridiculous. I can assure you with 100% confidence right now that there is no way that we see the potency of this outbreak get anywhere near April 27th, 2011, or even March 31st, 2023. With that being said, the new run of the NAM 3K model, the 18Z here, actually has put out quite a potent tornado threat for our MCS/derecho event across sections of the Mississippi Valley here on Friday. These are the significant tornado parameter values. Now, they are quite high, but keep in mind, this is going to be a linear mode of storms, which decreases our tornado threat significantly. However, in southern Illinois, significant tornado parameter values over 6 are already being recorded there with the NAM model. So, again, we are going to have plenty of time for this setup to change. And again, this uptrend happened just very recently, which is why I'm telling you guys about this. But it does look like we could have somewhat of a significant tornado threat on Friday. And again, obviously, Saturday is going to be a huge, huge deal as well. Originally, it was looking like Friday was going to be the bigger day. I don't think that's the case anymore, and I know that a lot of other people don't either. So, again, we have so much to talk about here over the next few days, but for right now, we should just focus in on our ongoing severe weather event and what we know about it. So, again, a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for sections of the Ark-La-Tex region until I believe it's 11 p.m. tonight. Yes, this is for the threat of hail up to tennis ball size, damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour, as we are expecting a potential MCS to get going here in sections of northeast Texas very soon, and maybe a brief tornado or two. But again, I really think that tornado threat is kind of going downhill pretty quickly, as these storms are definitely going to be elevated at this point. But again, I would not be shocked to see a brief tornado touchdown somewhere in northeastern Texas or southwest Arkansas, for example, where that environment is just a tad bit better. Alan with the $1 donation. Huge thank you to Alan. Spam those Allens, W. Allens in the chat. Thank you so much. Again, Alan has been greatly supportive on this channel, so I really do appreciate that, Alan. That's awesome. So again, $1 donation there from Alan. Spam W. Allen in the chat. Again, I don't know how many times I've said that on this channel, but it's quite a few. So anyway, let's go ahead and get that thrown up there on the dono board. Huge thank you to Alan for the $1 donation. Again, I cannot believe that we have these automatic warning counters now and we're allowed to use them. Like, that is insane to me. Again, huge thank you to James Pettis. And I've already had some people ask me, what's the website? How are you going to get this? I can't leak it, guys. I'm sorry, I can't. But anyway, just know that we are here with those up now, so hopefully our streams will be quite a bit higher quality and we can focus more on what's ongoing rather than having to go out of the OBS layout, change the text, and then, you know, do all that nasty stuff, and then re-full screen, and then the event's already over, whenever we can just have this. And it gives you a little running warning thing at the bottom. It kind of goes through all the warnings that we have in effect, rather than just, you know, it saying severe warnings. tornado warnings. This is how many we have, and we still do have that in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. If we drag this out here, we actually do have flash flood warnings and even winter weather warnings. However, for these next couple of events, it's looking like that we're really going to need to get serious here about our severe weather threat. So for right now, I've just went ahead and whacked up these severe warnings and tornado warnings, but let me know if you guys would like to see me pull out those other ones in the future. But anyway. So again, how's it going, chat? I hope everybody is having a lovely, lovely day. I know that I certainly am. Again, we are getting ready for a huge, huge weekend. So if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Turn notifications on so that you know exactly whenever we go live for this weekend's event, because it looks quite potent. But anyway, let me share this stream on social media. I encourage you guys to do the same. Alrighty. But yeah, huge thank you to Alan and Blaine for the $1 donos. That's incredible. Alrighty. What's up, Dahani, Samuel? Do you think I'll see severe weather on Saturday? I'm in southwestern Georgia. I think that is certainly a likelihood, yes. Southwestern Georgia would not be my hotspot, obviously, for the greatest tornado threat or anything like that, but the SPC does have you under that enhanced risk of severe weather. Now, actually, Albany's right on the line. Oh my goodness! Mayday! Mayday! Spam the W Maydays in the chat for the $100. Oh my goodness, huge shout out to Mayday down below. That is a $100 donation from Mayday. My chat lagged and everything. That is incredible. Thank you so much. That is insane. Okay, that is crazy. Huge thank you to Mayday, and yes, I do too. I very much do. Again, everybody, thank Mayday so much. That is insane. Huge thank you to Mayday for the $100 donation. Wow. Again, that is incredible. Again, another person that has just been so supportive in history with this channel. Again, I seriously cannot thank you enough for all that you've done for this channel. And again, that $100 donation, that is insane. Again, you did not have to do that, but I really do appreciate that more than you could ever know. That's insane. Again, thank you so much. That is amazing. Again, everybody throw those W Maydays in the chat for the $100 donation. Incredible stuff. Wow. Mayday's your dog. We know the lore now. Alright, again, huge thank you to Mayday. That's insane. Wow. Anyway, sorry, I'm having a little trouble focusing now. Again, our line of storms is still sweeping through the western portions of California here, now moving through the San Jose metro again, mainly just going to bring a gusty wind threat at this point, so some downed tree limbs and a few power outages are certainly possible. And then again, some isolated flooding could occur for any of those areas where the line kind of stalls for a bit, because it's not very quickly moving, I'll be completely honest with you. In some of these areas, if we take a look at the storm total precipitation, we can see I've already accumulated a good inch of rain or so there if you get like right up along the coast. So pretty significant rainfall totals by the time everything is said and done, but it is a very thin band, so at the same time, it's not necessarily saying that we're going to have the entirety of Western California, you know, get flooded out. That is definitely not the case. This is a very minor flooding event, but again, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a mesoscale discussion where they even said themselves that flash flooding is unlikely, but it is possible. So we do have a new special weather statement down into sections of Texas for the Mexia region for this southern little supercell that we mentioned here. Again, it's kind of congealing into a little line, and we expect that to happen with all of our storms later this evening. But this special weather statement mentions 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some penny-sized hail, so if you are in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors. Tornadoes likely tomorrow. Outbreak maybe. Yeah, so tomorrow we're not going to see a tornado outbreak or anything like that, but we do have a leftover severe weather threat from today, especially for sections of northern and central Alabama, I'd say. But the Storm Prediction Center has the 2% tornado threat highlighted over sections of southeast Alabama, a little sliver there, the Florida Panhandle, and extreme southwest Georgia. So we'll see. Again, I personally don't think that there's really any crazy tornado threat tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see anything today, I'm going to be honest with you, and tomorrow's just the leftovers, so obviously it's not going to be too much. But we will potentially have a stream out if anything kicks off enough. But again, it all depends on how today goes, because tomorrow is going to literally just be the leftovers from today, so to speak. So, yeah, Tornado Nerd, you're certainly right about that. Friday and Saturday are going to be our big days to watch again, in particular Saturday for the greatest tornado threat. But I definitely think that Friday is going to be quite significant for a damaging wind threat, guys. Again, look at this. This is a run here, the 18Z run of the NAM model. We have arguably a full-blown derecho sweeping through sections of the Midwest here. Look at this. This line of storms goes all the way from Sioux City, Iowa, back down through sections of Arkansas, and it continues to push off to the east, growing strength as we go later into the night on Friday. By 10 p.m., we can see this is ravaging sections of Illinois and eastern Iowa there, with significant damaging winds anywhere from 70 all the way up to 80 miles an hour being possible in an environment where we have this much shear, sort of say, and that will continue. I mean, it goes through sections of Indiana and Kentucky as well. If you guys were impacted by the June 29th, 2023 derecho, this kind of reminds me of that, but on a smaller scale. That is one of the biggest derechos in Illinois history. But this will be sort of similar, just due to the fact that it's going to be traveling over the same areas, but it's obviously not going to be nearly as intense. Again, you know it's crazy whenever you can see the low pressure system on radar without even having the pressure tracks up. It's pretty crazy, but again, maybe a couple of tornadoes embedded in our line of storms. If that were to happen, it would be somewhere where we've kind of got a little bit more of a discrete environment down to the south. Again, the greatest tornado threat for Friday, in my opinion, would come like southern Illinois through northeast Arkansas, I'd say there. I feel like southeast Mississippi has a heightened threat for tornadoes. Yeah, certainly. That's the area where we have been pulling the best soundings from environment-wise for Saturday. What would you say for northeast Mississippi? I'd say some chances, but Saturday's threat, probably in central Alabama. Well, again, we don't exactly know quite yet, because a lot of our short range... Hey, Sam with the $2 dono. We'll get to that in a second, and I'll answer your question there in a second, Blaine. But W Sam in the chat, and then we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning as well for our line here in California. This is north of Big Sur Village, near the Carmel Valley area, so if you are in this area, make sure you're moving indoors. Some 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. Tornado possible tag is there, but again, very, very minimal rotation. Nothing too impressive, but there is certainly some broad rotation there, sweeping on the shore at the moment, so we'll kind of watch for what happens. You're a little sick? I'm sorry to hear that, Sam. But spam those WSAMs in the chat. Again, huge thank you for the $2 dono. Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to go like this. We're going to say Blaine/Allen for the number 3 spots. And then we'll throw Sam in the number 2. Beautiful. So again, everybody spam up those WSAMs. Another person that has helped out a lot with this channel, certainly. And he's been here for a long time. So again, spam them up. WSAMs in the chat. And I hope you get to feeling better. You've been sick for a little while now, since yesterday it was. Again, I can't thank Mayday enough. That was insane. Mayday, if you're still watching, that is incredible. $100. You really did not have to do that. Anyway. Levi just got gifted a membership on Connor's stream. Lucky. Connor Croft is actually out here on our severe weather threat for today, but we don't have his feed. So, fortunately, we cannot use it. Our supercell is starting to lose some steam here, clearly, in terms of its supercellular presentation, and then as well as that hail core. It's not nearly as impressive, so it is very possible that this severe thunderstorm warning expires and then it is not reissued, so to speak. But again, our line down here to the south, definitely possible that we do see severe thunderstorm warning issued for this. And again, we're expecting this all to be a line as we go into later this evening. bring some significant damaging winds here for portions of the Ark-La-Tex area. Again, as you can see, these storms are moving off to the east-southeast at the moment, but we will have some more storm initiation to the north, most likely. However, I will say the HRRR has been pretty consistent that the northern half of this slight risk really doesn't see much. It's just now liking the idea on the most recent run that maybe we see a supercell develop here in southwestern Arkansas through the late evening time hours, early nighttime hours, but I really wouldn't bet too much money on that. And then even the line now actually is, it kind of has it pushing further to the south now that it is starting to develop, and it hasn't, developed further to the north. No, you're good, Jesse. Thank you for tuning in. But again, honestly, this is almost better for a tornado threat. This is kind of the perfect spot for today if we were to see something. Again, right around 8, 9 p.m., if this supercell does develop like the HRRR is saying, we might have a problem. But again, it's an elevated supercell, so really there's not too much that can happen unless things really get crazy, but you never know. In an environment with 1,500 to 2,000 CAPE, we've got, a good, say, 250 SRH out here, almost 300 SRH in times, and then a significant tornado parameter of 2. Certainly possible. Again, that one supercell there. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's almost better if we wanted to see a tornado develop for these cells to be discrete and just have one like this. But I'm not too dead set that that's going to happen. And then the NAM here, it's really interesting. It has some convection developing on the 18Z, which did end up happening. You'll notice it's not very much, though. And then if you look at the 12Z run of the NAM, I posted about this at around lunchtime. It had nothing. No initiation whatsoever. So, again, I was thinking for a second that this was going to be entirely a bust, but that obviously did not end up happening. So, as we said there just a minute ago, we now have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Mexia and Groesbeck, Texas. So, if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors. Again, significant damaging winds going to be the main threat with that, but some quarter-sized hail cannot be ruled out. Again, this is going to be approaching Centerville and Teague over the next little while, so if you're in this area, get ready. But yeah, if you're in like the northern half of this severe thunderstorm watch, we really can't guarantee that you're going to see too much because our line is developing far south of that region and it's pushing east-southeast. So, again, areas like Texarkana, Sulphur Springs, Paris, New Boston, Marshall, even Shreveport, we may not end up seeing much for you. What are we expecting for Oklahoma, specifically Oklahoma City? Nothing from this event in particular, and then not really too much over the next several days as well. Again, this system that we're expecting to come through this weekend is not really going to impact you too much. So Oklahoma City's in the good here. Again, our Day 5 outlook is pretty interesting. We've got a slight risk of severe weather all the way from the Gulf of Mexico back over through sections of southern New England. Now, this is mainly going to be a damaging wind threat, but I actually would not be surprised to see a few tornadoes maybe somewhere in the southeast on Sunday here. So we will definitely have a stream out for Sunday if things kick off enough. For real, Jesse, that's crazy. Again, huge thank you to Mayday. But again, obviously it's just the leftovers of Saturday, so. I will say, though, the leftovers of an event, there have certainly been times where they overperformed the main day. Or what we were expecting to be the main day, anyway. Yeah, you could say that, Cardboard, but I mean, it basically hit. It didn't quite, but it was right up along the New Jersey-New York state line. Alright, peace out, Mr. Twister. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, honestly, guys, Saturday could be one of our longest streams of all time, if not the longest, if things continue to look like they are right now over the next few days. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going out. It just disappeared. I'm gonna guess. Oh no, they reissued our Corsicana severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Storm is now over Corsicana, so if you're in this area, Corsicana, however you pronounce it, make sure you're moving indoors. If you know anybody in this area, make sure to send them this stream. Again, things are going to get nasty there for about 10 minutes. Rain, wind, hail, all that nasty stuff. But again, at this point, for a damaging wind threat, we're a little more concerned out of the south towards an area like Mexico. You may end up seeing less rain, because it's a very thin line at the moment, obviously, but we shall see. Yeah, Levi and Gessie's in the Friday threat. Oh, Sam with the $2 dono. I don't know why I did that cringy dance. Anyway, spam those W Sams in the chat. Huge thank you. That is now up to $4 this stream. So W Sam, you like the alert system layout? I do as well. Again, huge shout out to James Pettis for allowing me and the boys to use this. That is incredible. Again, thank you so much to James Pettis. And again, huge thank you to Sam for that $2 dono there. Oh, we literally called him last night. I posted on Twitter, but we called him last night. And he was about to leave, and Jesse was like, wait, I got a question. And he came in clutch. Dave, so what time do you think Dawson, Georgia will see some thunderstorms tomorrow? Excuse me. That was a bad voice crack. Okay, you have to give me some slack on that one because I just got done coughing. Anyway, NAM 3K here. Honestly, I bet that it doesn't have you getting too much, but let's see here. Yeah, NAM doesn't have you getting much, but again, they've been less aggressive with this system as a whole. Let's look at HRRR here. Throw it back to the 18D so we can get a full 48-hour run there. So it looks like you're going to end up seeing your threat around 4 p.m. Funnily enough, it literally has the storm splitting over you, but again, that is just a trend there, so take that all with a grain of salt. So again, some rain, hail, wind, lightning, all looks possible. Again, the greater tornado threat, though, I think is going to come with this more semi-discrete cluster of storms down to your south, but we'll see. Again, I'd look out for some wind in your area, though, certainly, if nothing else severe-wise. Yeah, I heard you guys said you called Ryan Scholl. I wish I was there. Goated storm chaser. He might honestly be in like my top 10 storm chaser list of all time. Tornado nerd, at this point it's a guarantee that we will have some level of moisture. The exact amount is unknown, but it's looking like we're going to have dew points into like the low 70s along the Gulf Coast, and then high 60s for everywhere else in Dixie. And then you get into the Midwest Ohio Valley, it's kind of mid-60s, so we'll see. By the way, another interesting thing to note about Friday. We have an enhanced risk down through areas like Mississippi. The NAM has nothing. Nothing at all. It's been consistent for sections of Arkansas and Mississippi and Alabama, Tennessee even. Everywhere in that little enhanced risk, we get nothing down there. And that is something that we genuinely are just going to have to wait for the HRRR on, because the NAM by itself is not reliable enough to judge a setup this intense on. Now, if we don't see any convection down here, that would be problematic, because that would create a more intense and potent Saturday, because there'd be a less stabilized environment out here. So we will see what happens, but for right now, Dixie looks okay for Friday. Again, we're not going to say that it's in the clear entirely, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, I do think that obviously there is some overhyping going on social media, especially the comparisons to like April 27, 2011. That crap's ridiculous, but I genuinely do think that this looks like the biggest storm that we have seen this year by far. But anyway. Correct, Butterfly. I'm praying storms don't fire. By the way, guys, I was so hyped because it was looking like I'd do my first chase ever for this event, but the storms are going to be after midnight for me. So that's a rip. If you don't know, I'm out here in Illinois. But yeah. Rest in peace to that chase. That ain't happening. Anyway. And honestly, Jesse, people will freak out about that, but I don't doubt that that's a possibility. If anything, this event, again, things will change, but if anything, the setup that we have right now for Saturday looks more intense than some of our high risks in recent history, so it would not shock me if this went high. Again, things will change. I cannot stress that enough. They already have changed, and they're going to change again. Usually, especially recently, we have seen significant downtrends in a event's forecast a couple days before it happens. So we'll see if one of those comes through. But I will say, right now, things look concerning. Again, I have to be so careful what I say here because, I mean, things change so much with these Dixie events recently. And obviously forever, but especially recently. But we will have another forecast out tomorrow, obviously, if we're not streaming. And then if we do stream, we'll have the forecast in the stream. And, I mean, after that, we're at the event. So we're really, I mean, it's always crazy with these events. They seem like they're so far away, and then, like that, they're here. So, again, we'll see. But anyway. Magnet for real. But, again, I think the April 27th, 2011 comparison is obviously ridiculous, and then even the March 31st comparison is quite silly, I think. March 31st, the reason people are comparing it to that is because it's a similar-looking jet stream. But what they don't take into account for that, ignore the voice crack, is moisture content. And I've made this point so many times, but I'm going to say it again because some people haven't heard it yet and they need to. March 31st, 2023, dew points were in the 60s in Wisconsin. This time, dew points barely hit the 60s in Missouri. So, this is nowhere near as a potent setup as March 31st was. But yeah. But anyway. Again, storm intermediate just above my head there. Getting some of the worst of these winter storm conditions right now, it looks like. I mean, it is coming down out there in California. That is true, Kevin, but in all honesty, do you really believe it's going to be anywhere near the level of March 31st in terms of moisture, even with an uptrend? I mean, it's just like that comparison just seems so unrealistic to me. And again, with a couple major uptrends, we could get there. But I don't think there's enough time for that to happen at this point. So, anyway. Mr. Storm, thank you. Good sir, thank you for tuning in. Yeah. Welcome back, Jesse. Again, our line is continuing to develop further down to the south here. You can see that dry line there on radar, but we will see how this progresses over the next little while. Again, at this point, looks like damaging wind threat for southeast Texas and maybe southwest Louisiana. And then if we were to see a tornado threat, it would be somewhere in that region, mainly southwest Arkansas. But again, that is very reliant on a supercell developing and becoming discrete. But it is a pretty decent environment, and the ARRR says it's possible. The NAM, not so much. But the NAM has been wrong so far about this event. So, again, we'll see. Again, NAM does have convection up there, but it's not discrete, and it doesn't become nearly as intense because of it. And it's not even like we could see a merger in this if things were to look like this sporadic. This would be the best case scenario if we didn't want to see severe weather. Other than just not seeing anything. But again, that's a little unrealistic at this point, I think. But, I will say, chat, unfortunately, I didn't realize this, but I'm not able to be live that much longer here, but we are going to come back later tonight, if anything significant does pop off. Say, if we get that tornado warning in Arkansas, or if our line really does become quite intense, I guess, in Texas, but I doubt that happening. But we will come back later tonight if necessary. Again, we really weren't planning on going live until like 8 p.m., but I just kind of wanted to discuss some stuff here, and again, I'm glad we did, because Mayday is incredible. Again, if I haven't already said it enough, W Mayday. What's up, real-time storms? Again, our line in California, as it loses moisture content quickly, it is gonna decline here through central Cali. Again, I'm not going to say, Rango, if it's going to 100,000% go moderate, because there is still time for some forecast changes before the event plays out, but I will say it looks extremely likely. By the way, our supercell here, again, it's a elevated storm, but it is developing some rotation, certainly. So if you are out here in, like, the Eureka-Powell area, do be prepared, because it does look like we could have something significant trying to develop here. Again, as of right now, it is weak to moderate rotation, but wouldn't be surprised to see that develop further in this environment. Again, this is an elevated storm, though, so... if we look at storm tops with this, it's pretty impressive. Nearly 40,000 feet. Our line here is about the same. No, there's been a severe watch for about an hour, Vincent. Yeah, the severe watch was issued an hour and a half ago. You good? Alright. We'll get one last radar scan here from our rotation with our supercell. There it is. Again, broad rotation. It's not a surface-based storm, so it's not going to be able to produce a tornado unless something crazy goes down over the next few minutes. So, unfortunately, we do have to end off this stream here. And, again, come back later tonight, if necessary. But, again, I want to say huge thank you to Mayday for the $100 donation. Huge thank you to Sam for the $4. Blaine and Allen with the 1. Thank you guys as well. Again, what else do I say here? I think we've kind of went over everything about 15 times. So, again, I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. And if we're not back later tonight, we will be back tomorrow. If not tomorrow, we will obviously 1,000% be here Friday and Saturday. So again, thank you all for watching the stream. I will see